What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Fashion. It's your boy Remo, aka Mr. Rich Dress. Don't forget to hit the rate, comment, like, or subscribe for your weekly podcast where we talk a little bit of fashion, sports, music, the culture. We all intertwine it in one, and we sit down and have a little barbershop conversation. There's no right, there's no wrongs. A lot of the sparring goes down in the comment section, so make sure y'all tap in below and give y'all feedback. Everything I say ain't golden, and everything I say ain't right. So let us know how y'all feel about, what we talking about on the show. We got a lot to talk about this week because it's been a heavy weekend when it comes to fashion, sports, and culture. So let's jump right into it, man. As y'all can see, the Knicks won the NBA Finals. First time championship in 53 years. We had a crazy parade, which only was a couple blocks, might I ask. But, we seen the likes of Carmelo Anthony out there. We seen Patrick Ewing. Oakman showed out there. Just some of the alumni. Bernard King was out there. It's dope to see how they take care of their former players and their real homers when it comes to the New York Knicks. Everybody was going crazy for Brunson on the float. Uh, it was just a good time for the city. It was a couple blunders though. I did see 33 was on the city hall. Who made that mistake? We all know 33 is coded for Patrick Ewing, but whatever that works out for them. But I'm here to talk about the energy in the city when it comes to merch. There is official finals merch, there is official Knicks merch, but it seems like bootleggers were having a hell of a run when it comes to, putting street art together into culture. And this is kind of what streetwear is. It's kind of like putting together your rendition of what, the moment could look like. And going at each corner and seeing a different element of the Knicks, but seeing from a different lens was kind of dope. I wasn't really feeling the bedazzle joint when they won it. I was just like, oh, here we go with the sparkle glow shit. But it wasn't available for the masses or the main public to purchase. So that was a good thing because I did have one of myself. But the thing for me is that I like what I've seen in the city in a whole because you got a chance to see so many different flavors of Knicks apparel that generally wasn't released from the Knicks, but the people in the street got an opportunity to, kind of put art out. Like my man, West Side Gun, some art. You know what I'm saying? But definitely shout out to the Knicks for winning that because it's gonna be a crazy summer throughout. It's gonna be a, you know, orange and blue summer throughout the whole summer, man, until next season comes about and they finally get to display those rings on opening night. So definitely shout out to the Knicks once again. Man, Jalen Brunson, you goated, man. You might be the number one Knick out here these days. We did see a rendition of the Jeff Hamilton leather come out. Carl Anthony Towns wore it in the parade. And I'm not quite sure how I felt about this Jeff Hamilton release because I think the best one was the Kobe release when he was in the locker room. It's such an iconic image, and the quality of the jacket looked a little bit different. It looks a little bit heavier. Well, I guess the craftsmanship was a little different. The one for Cat was made a little bit light, but the artistry on it was cool. When you get a little closer, you do see a little python leather around the wristlets and other elements of it, but I'm not quite sure I enjoyed the body itself of the jacket. And, I don't know if it's made to be a lighter version of a leather, but it's not giving that camera on let me know that, you know what I'm saying, the back in the day patches era joint. So it was a good attempt, but I just think it could have been done a little bit better, in my opinion. But shout out to Jeff Hamilton, shout out to the Knicks. Now, some of the craziest sneaker news coming out right now. SGA has been anointed to jump over from Converse to Nike. Now, the reason for this, I personally think that Nike is looking for somebody to crown as their victor of the brand right now because with the likes of KD and LeBron and PG-13 and those guys kind of falling back into the dusk, You got Giannis, but Giannis is not really not a big sneaker seller when it comes to the popularity. They do have Ja, but Ja isn't in the fold of the playoffs, All Star games. They need somebody to carry the Nike flag because Nike is the biggest shoe apparel company, especially when it comes to basketball apparel. For them not to have a top, let's say, five youthful player right now, and he be one of those guys to carry him, because arguably you do have Cade coming out. Booker, it's kind of in the whisk. How the sneakers going to go is the people are really attached to his shoe like that. They needed this SGA movement. I just don't know what the design will look like coming from the first one because the first one was monotone, one silhouette, one colorway, and it kind of like I think we got one camo where it was just like, oh shit, this is a little bit different. But all the other ones were just one tone. And it worked. It worked. People gravitated to them. I personally thought the brown ones was the best ones out of all of them, or maybe the gray ones. But I just felt as though that this shoe right now is kind of lent to Shai's personality, and Nike is a little bit more over the top. So I want this marriage to be as creatively controlled by Shai as it was in Converse as well, because I don't want it to look like they're trying to force feed a shoe on us because of the name, and it doesn't go with the player, if that makes sense. Ja's a real wild guy, and from the Ja threes to the Ja fours, you see elements of just like a lot of pizzazz in the shoe like that. We haven't really seen Ja on the court like that to really say, all right, this matches his energy, but his persona itself, it matched for the Ja threes. The Ja fours haven't officially released yet, and we haven't seen what he would do in the shoe, what team he'll be playing for. But they need a guy. They need a guy. Cade, we don't know what the official shoe is going to look like. The Alien, he's signed to Nike, but he doesn't have a signature shoe either. So Nike basketball has some work to do when it comes to SGA and the sneaker matching SGA's persona, personality, his swagger, because these are one of the shoes that I would say kids, adults have been wearing off the court as well. They've been figuring out a way. Shout out to Wale for kind of making a lot of this happen as well. Figuring out real creative ways to wear basketball sneakers off court again. So yeah, Nike, I gotta get in the lab, man. Sit down with Shai and really curate this for it to make sense, because now him joining the Nike umbrella, which is kind of the same umbrella with Converse because it's a sister company, but you can't go from Converse being the hot shoe to come over to Nike and you be like, what happened? You can't fuck this up, Nike. You cannot drop the ball on this one. Do not do the Jordan 1 to the Jordan 2, which people was like, nah, this ain't it. They got to skip the 2. Go from the Jordan 1 straight to the 3 when it comes to Shai. We need this. But shout out to Shai. You kind of fell short this year. A lot of injuries on the team. But, you really, you stood out throughout the season, and the play on the court mattered. And then the sneakers and the commercials and all of that, it carried over. So take the same energy into next season, and let's see what we got. Speaking about energy, Caitlin Clark. Nike just unveiled her signature shoe. And tell me what y'all feel about this one, y'all. Because me personally, this could have been LeBron, Giannis leftover, that kind of, KD that might have not made it to the production line. And it doesn't really scream Caitlin Clark, one tone, kind of like scales or dots or whatever they put on the shoe. I'm not really sold on it, especially with the type of shoe that they dropped for Aja Wilson. A lot of characteristics in her shoe from the 1 and the 2 seem to be big hits. The colorways itself, big hits. And for them to drop a blue shoe and it's just like, here you go, signature shoe, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on this one. Uh, could it pick up some steam? Maybe. But you got the Sabrinas out there. You got the Angel Reese's over there with Reebok. Cool little design as well. Come on, y'all. Nike. Y'all got the golden ticket and the golden child. This is who y'all wanted. This is what y'all wanted as marketing power. Caitlin Clark. This is not the shoe that y'all drop and make the big splash when it comes to Caitlin Clark. I'm just saying, y'all. So, as y'all been noticing, Denim Tears has been stepping into a different lane when it comes to the brand. They initially had the campaign with Lauryn Hill and her family, and it screamed Black Power, Black Energy, the message of the brand that it once, held its hat on. It was given kind of another rebirth to it. And now they return again, kind of switching the lanes to the high end look with the high end bags. And I kind of like this look for Denim Tear because it separates from just streetwear and it gives it some kind of like, that cozy high end streetwear feel, because at some point in time you have to separate yourself from all the other brands by making yourself a little bit different. And this is almost screaming like, a Denim Tears, Birkin almost or something like that, tote bag. But I like the message. I like where they're going with this. I like that they're screaming, we're better than other brands, and this is why. The storyline lens, the energy lens, and putting a little bit more, material and finances into the brand and getting away from just, cotton reef sweatsuits and denim pants with cool. Those are cool. Those are cool, essential type of outfits, which kind of became drill outfits because most of the niggas that was scamming for the last 2-3 years were caught wearing that type of stuff. And y'all don't want that. So I wouldn't per se say go in that direction because the message carries along with the brand as well. Right now, Shai sees a Nike text. That's the thing. Regardless of what, Nike can't get away from that. It's hard to, break the stigma of, the name and the brand being associated with, criminal activity. You don't want that. So why not go to high end? You know what I'm saying? Virgil left a gaping hole when it comes to, high end streetwear where it hasn't really been replaced as yet. Jerry Lorenzo over there at Fair God, they kind of gave it a shot, and there's a couple here and there, but it's still room for one. Kanye is going to $20, $20, everything. I don't know if everything is still $20, but his lane and his direction to his brand, it changed as well. So I like what they're going. Let's see where it lands. Let's take a quick break from one of our sponsors.
Oh, this one is stunning. The sequins are just perfect. This is definitely the one for tonight. Oh, I can't have my hair like this. Wait, let me check the Akiru hair website real quick. Oh, yes. This is exactly what I need. I'm ordering it right now.
Hi, I've got a delivery for you from Akiru Hair. Enjoy your package.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. Look at this. The quality is amazing. I can't wait to try this on. Oh my gosh, your hair looks incredible. This is our moment. Yes!
Ladies, y'all trying to turn up this summer? Y'all want to go 20 inches, 30 inches, 40 inches, blonde, brown, black? Akiru's got y'all, man. Hit up the description below. Make sure y'all link it and tap in. Tell them Rich Threads sent you. Let's talk fashion, Remo. We working on the promo code, y'all. We gotta tap into some of this, man. Leave in a comment below that we need the Let's Talk Fashion discount. And write the number of discount that y'all want, man, because y'all deserve it. Y'all the consumers. Y'all here. Now, back to the show. So, before we get out of here, just make sure y'all like, subscribe, tell a friend, all that. Hit the goddamn like button and notification. Now, Pharrell Williams, right? So, Pharrell Williams seems to be getting his traction when it comes to LV. And every season is getting a little better. It's getting a little better. It's making more sense here and there. But now they drop these kind of skateboard van. I'm going to say van looking shoes because that's what it is. They're called the Authentics. And, there's a plethora of different colors. You can't hide the shape of this shoe and not say this looked like a van. So to the point where Van clapped back at Pharrell and, they called them out for damn near stealing the whole design and really taking the swag of Vans. I get it. Because at first glance, I already thought Van. The toe box is a little bit different on it. But this goes back to, kind of like, I want to not saying bootlegging, but inspiration. When you're inspired by a brand and, a creator, we've seen this timeless amount of times. We've seen Nike and Bape, Uptowns and the Bape Stars or whatever they were called. They were mirror type of shit. The S. Dot Carters kind of came from the rendition of the Gucci sneakers. We've seen it, the Louis Vuitton Tims and regular Timberlands. You could pay, you know, 5,000 for a pair of Tims, or you could pay $200. It's always going to be a spin when it comes to the way that inspiration comes about and the way it's presented. Who takes it as inspiration? Who takes it as bootleg or straight up copying or just straight up stealing? It all kind of belongs to the beholder and who's deciding is it creativity or. But I think Pharrell's going to get a lot of backlash on this because they don't deem him as a designer. They decide that he's more of a influencer. But you don't have to be the one to put your hands on the design team and say I want this stitch this way, double stitch, da, 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 da. You can have a vision and somebody help bring that vision to life because internally you just might have the mind to say I want to see this with this color, this with this material, and it comes to play. But there's some people that's school in the arts when it comes to designing and sewing and all this shit, and they'll frown and look their nose down upon people who can't really design and say they're not authentically part of the culture. I get it, but some of those people that are very good with the craftsmanship and all of that, they have no vision as well. So it's kind of like one hand washes the other, where we want to see this immaculate design come to life, but how can it come to life without a pairing of both? Pharrell is a dope, individual in itself when it comes to, the way he lays out products together. He's played around with all types of other brands, but he's always found himself to always be authentically himself. And he's known as skateboarder P, skateboards and Vans, kind of in the same play. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Somewhere down the line, maybe there might be room for collab. I just don't want, the guys over there at Van to just cut their nose off and be like, despite their face, be like, go to war with Pharrell. It's Vans over LV. It's not even in the same, wheelhouse of fans and consumers, because it's super high end and it's super grunge wear type of cats. Vans is kind of playing in the middle now. They got spikes on the shoes and they're telling stories from old Chanel bags and shit like that. So the kind of look of it is growing to be in a different like lens, but it's still two different worlds. So I don't know if Pharrell claps back because Vans did drop a little meme at them and all of that. I don't know if it's playful banter or it's just culture between fashion designers and fashion houses, but I like this type of energy. Fuck all that friendship shit. I'm better than you. Make sure that you show that you're better than me, and that's what we living at today, man. But that's all I got for y'all this week, man. Don't forget to hit the rate, like, subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. Jump in the comments. Hit me up on IG at rich_threads. That's RICHE_threads. And on that note, I'm out of here. Let's go Knicks, man.